All right, welcome. It is good to be here. I'm going to wander, so I apologize. It is really good to be here. So, I should mention my name is Nathan Taylor. I'm in the Family Service Program. I've only been here. This is only my second semester here. I recently came from University of Nebraska-Lincoln. And so, I'm still trying to understand resources in that here, some specific resources within Cedar Valley and all that. I am a novice at, but as far as the field of family service, more specifically in helping people, I do have expertise in that area. So I am a trained marriage and family therapist, and two of the other faculties, so three total, in the family service program are trained marriage and family therapists. And so this idea of wanting to help people within a family service, family science program is particularly relevant. So let me first start out with that clinical therapy track. When we, as I've advised students, both in the Family Serve program and as I've taught one of the mental health minor requirements, and as I've talked to the students, when we hear this, I want to help people. I want to be a counselor, I want to be a therapist, or I want to be a psychologist. And the next questions I ask, well, what kind of people do you want to work with? Have you looked at other tracks in order to be that? And we get this blank stare, like, there's other tracks, there's other ways that I can be a counselor, therapist, psychologist. I'm going to use those words, but just kind of in that helping profession. So some background on what it looks like to be a marriage and family therapist. Many people come from disciplines such as family services, and people come from psychology, communication, social work, art, lots of different disciplines. But to become a counselor through family services, more specifically marriage and family therapy, is a master's degree. Most programs are 2 years, some are 3 years. The marriage and family therapy programs are a little smaller in nature. So my master's training program, there was 6 per semester or per year that they took, so small cohorts. And then at University of Nebraska, there was 8 to 10. So they're smaller programs, so you have to keep in mind that. And just because a marriage and family therapy training program trains you to work with couples, families, children, adolescents, individuals. I have colleagues that work with all of that population. But when we're working with people, we're thinking from family systems perspective. And that's how I ended up in the marriage and family therapy. My undergraduate was psychology, and I was taking classes and trying to understand problems. I kept on putting them in context of families. When I was taking adolescent problems, I was thinking of how is the family contributing to this problem? If the family is contributing to this problem, how can I work with the family in order to address this problem? A very family systems perspective to help that. So here at the University of Northern Iowa, we don't have a marriage and family therapy program. At the University of Iowa, they do, and in Cedar Rapids, they have one as well. However, in our School of Applied Human Sciences, we have a counseling program, which is a 3-year program. They have a mental health track and a school track, which provides clinical training in order to be a counselor, with many of our graduates applying to that program each year. So that is kind of for those that I want to be a therapist, I want to be a counselor, family serve majors, many of them go that route, marriage and family therapy, or a licensed practicing counselor. Let me talk about our program just in general. Our graduates from family services do kind of 3 things. And when I say these 3 things, think of a Venn diagram where they can overlap a lot. But the first thing family serve majors do is direct services. And what I mean with that is they are directly interacting with those who need services. Whether that's at a homeless shelter, domestic shelter, if they are working with parenting programs that are court mandated, they are working with the population that needs those services at that moment. So bachelor's in family services, you cannot do therapy. So services aren't therapy, services are education-based, where we're teaching skills, teaching evidence-based practices, applying education programs in order to help the individual, the family, and so forth. So the first are direct services, working directly with those that are in need. The second are preventative efforts. So this is where a graduate would go and train sexual education or parenting practices for the general population. Or on Thursday, I'm going to one of the elementary schools in town, and I'm going to talk about being mentally healthy. I'm going to talk about mindfulness as ways to improve parents, improve children's life, and improve families, because that family is the focus. And then the third route, kind of that family service majors do, is they help coordinate or connect resources. So perhaps I may work at a domestic violence shelter, but I'm not doing therapy. I'm connecting them with resources out in the community in order to, so that they can meet their own needs. So our family service program is really broken up into 3 different parts. So the first is just our required courses for everyone. We have 7 required courses, ranging everything from human identity, family relationships, research methods, strategies in working with families. And then we have our core electives. So you take 6 core electives through 4 different groups, and this is where you can specialize to your interest. If you're interested in working with older population, you have great aging classes, or parenting, or interpersonal relationships. I love working with couples. Nothing like bringing a couple into a therapy room, having them fight, hash it out, and sending them off on their way holding hands. It's just fun, a little weird like that. And so you can focus on those those elective courses. And then finally, one of the key parts is you also have an internship at the end, where you have an opportunity to go gain real world experience. Out in the community, a 400-hour internship gives you the opportunity to see, hey, does this fit with me? Add something to your resume, and many of the students create jobs for themselves. They go anywhere from child care centers, adult daycare centers, domestic violence, Department of Child and Family Services, all of those areas. There are a multitude of opportunities within the Family Serve program that are similar to what you're going to hear today. The purpose of today is to just highlight some of the unique attributes of each. If I was to identify the unique attributes of family services, is we are focused on improving families. If we can improve families, we know that we improve individuals, we improve children, and we know we can improve families, we improve communities along the way. So with the focus of families, it gives us a unit in order to do that. As family service majors, we become experts in family dynamics, how they function, how they contribute to that individual and community development, and how to help improve that in the lives of other people as you help them along the way. So thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Jennifer Becker from the Social Work Department.
So I want to thank the Academic Advising for giving us this opportunity to present on not only our program, but to help students find their passion, find their path within helping people. We asked all of our social work majors, they had to write about it at least twice, right? I have a couple alumni, current students at the table, why social work? And 100% say they want to help people. That really is a desire that they have. But this field, it's so vast, it's so varied, which I think is the appeal of not only the major, but also the discipline and the work that you do. That's really important to understand what about people you want to help. So my name is Jenny Becker. I'm with the Social Work Department. I'm their field director. So I see students before they do their internship, which is in your senior year. So you will be doing that as part of this major. And I also help with some of the curriculum issues as far as within the social work program. So what is social work? Really the primary mission is to help people, to improve the quality of life. So family services, I love to hear about the preventive work that they do. They do that very, very well. Social work, if I had to have maybe one critical comment about social work, we tend to be there when people fall down. We tend to help them journey to recovery. That in and of itself is fantastic and wonderful work. We can do some preventive work as well. We tend to help people when there is an issue in part of improving their overall quality of life. What's unique to social work, we have 3 different practice categories. So you can definitely do micro practice, which is working directly with our client base, could be any age. Our meso work, which is working with neighborhoods and communities, families and groups, or if you prefer more of a macro lens, you can be working with systems of care, policy issues, how we practice social work that can impact so many people. A couple other taglines for social workers were person and environment. We never meet with a client without understanding the family they came from, what has influenced their life, the family they currently live in, who's in their support system, where they live, the dynamics of that community, that neighborhood. So we're always addressing and looking at that aspect as well. Strengths-based perspective. We believe everybody requires respect, has dignity and worth. We know there's something about them that we're going to tap into to help them with their road to recovery. Self-determination. We don't do anything with a client that they're not ready to do. So when they're ready for that recovery, and it can take a while sometimes, being persistent, being patient with our clients is really important. But when they're ready to make the changes in their life, or anything that might impact their life, that's when we couple with them and walk with them through their journey of recovery. Common issues. Social work's for you if these are issues that you're passionate about. We're working with individuals who are usually on the fringe of society, or oppressed populations, or it could be anybody that has stumbled along in their life and are needing assistance. We work with individuals who get in a car accident, also have a traumatic brain injury, and their quality of life is going to be very, very different. Or lose a limb, or lose a loved one. We deal with a lot of loss issues with people, loss of control of their life, loss of their children, loss of loved ones, things like that. I highlighted a couple issues here because what's pervasive within the field of social work are addictions issues and mental health. So if those are 2 things, or even one of those things, or something you're very passionate about, this might be the major for you. List of social work classes. So I definitely have, as you can see, a level of practice that we'll be doing with our students, and it mirrors that micro, macro lens. So we're going to do some hands-on experience in classroom, working with each other as individuals, facilitating group sessions, and working with community and organizations. I highlighted the experiences in our program that give you actually real life experience. So in our intro class, you will do a 30-hour volunteer experience somewhere in either this community or another one. It might be your first time ever working in the service field. We want to get you exposed to some of the issues that our clients face. I mentioned the internship field experience, which is in your senior year. There you do 440 hours of field experience, and we are really treating you as a pre-professional. You start out observing, shadowing, getting to know the organization. By the end, you should be doing some independent practice, and with whatever agency that you are choosing to do so with. The internships too, we have about 80 partners locally that we plug students in with internships. And across the state of Iowa, we have over 400 partners. So you don't need to stay in Cedar Valley to do your internship. We support students who want to expand past Black Hawk County. We even have out-of-state internships, and you'll see 3 flyers for study abroad experiences for our students, 2 which have internships related to them as well. And you also can do a co-op if you want as one of your electives, which again is some more time out in the field. So some students know they want to help people. This is the way to determine which population is the best fit for you. So where do social workers work? So this is also on your handout. So I think in the employment section under social work, it mirrors our internship settings are the same as where we are employed. And the agencies that take our students for interns are looking for social workers. We don't have enough social workers to fill all the need to fill those positions. So they're always looking for people for our field. Again, this is the appeal, I believe, of the major of this discipline is how varied it can be. We work with the aging population. In fact, this is one of the fastest growing populations that we work with. So you can see some examples there. There were nursing homes. There's behavioral health units in nursing homes, which are mental health programs as part of those nursing homes, and also community-based aging population supports. Children, adolescents, and family services, one of the largest employers of social work. There's a lot of money usually put towards child welfare. We know with prevention services, if we can get in there early, we can maybe stop any more trauma from happening. However, there's just a lot of work to do within child welfare. And it goes from early, 0 to 5, early access ages, through adolescence. You can be working with the parents, you can be working with the youth themselves, different settings. You could be the intervention in the home, you could be an intervention or a case manager when they're in placement. So a lot of different avenues for child welfare. Criminal justice. This is a fast-growing interest with some of our students about the criminal justice system. So if you want to be a probation officer, parole officer, all of our prisons in Iowa employ social workers. So people are put into prison for whatever they have done. We are the rehabilitative portion of that. Even if they never leave the correctional system, they still deserve a good quality of life, deserve to understand the trauma they've been through, the trauma they've inflicted on people, and have that awareness. So definitely we have a space in the criminal justice system. Domestic violence and violence prevention, whether it be shelter work, crisis management, crisis line work, we fit there. Educational settings, more and more school districts are hiring social workers, both BA degree and graduate level degree social workers to work in the schools. So where you and I here, we know we can't disagree that a lot of people come to you and I for teaching, for business. We do tend to get some teachers, previous teaching students into our major, because they still like that educational setting, that component, but they want to have a different impact on a child's life. And the social and emotional behavioral issues that some of our students come to school with are so prominent, it impacts their ability to learn. So there are definitely spaces in that setting. Medical and healthcare, our hospital settings employ social workers, hospice work, which I talk with some of the students that I've placed in hospice settings, talk about how impactful those experiences have been. I talk about mental health services, whether it be inpatient, outpatient, or school-based, home-based. People with disabilities, so these are people maybe living with family members or in group homes or independently that still need support. Refugee and immigrant services. I talked about, we don't have a ton here locally with that, but it is growing in need as far as the services that to help them transition into their new life. The addiction world, whether it be preventative work, going out into schools, going out into the community and educating people on addiction issues, or being the treatment side of it, whether it be inpatient or outpatient. And veteran services, another huge population that needs assistance. And so our VA system hires only master's level social workers to work with their mental health needs of their veterans. And there's opportunities for VA level as well in different veteran services. Just some other things, if social work, and I'm almost done. So the other things, if you feel the other majors or another major is a better fit for you, we do have a minor, social welfare minor, it's 18 credits, so you can still have some exposure to our program. If you want to fine-tune your lens in a certain area, we have a couple certificates. The conflict resolution certificates for any student in any major, so that's cross-listed. But our child welfare and our substance abuse counseling certificate are for our social work majors. Your BA degree is as a standalone, will give you the job that you want in this field. If you want to enhance some of your skills or your lens in a certain area, we've got a couple certificates to share with you on that. If you're looking forward past your BA degree and think about graduate school, if you have a BA degree in social work, your graduate program is 1 year long, almost unheard of in the graduate world. If you have a degree in something else besides social work, it's a 2-year program, which is pretty comparable to most graduate programs. And I've got some handouts on why you might want to get a graduate degree in social work. Okay, well, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. And our last presentation is from Dr. Kim Macklin from psychology.
Hello. Let me bring up the psych department website so you have something to look at. start to feel, maybe you already feel the pressure, oh, I should know, maybe you have friends and family asking, what are you going to do, what are you going to do? It's completely natural to spend a good portion of your time here exploring what it is you want to do. And through that exploration, you will stumble upon the thing that you end up doing. And one thing to also remember is all of us here have been where you are. You know, we all have bachelor's in something. And mine was a bachelor's in psych and a minor in English. I took English classes as a stress relief from my regular classes, but I didn't even end up in psychology till I'd stumble around in biology and pre-med for 2 years before I got out of that. That's a normal part of the process, so don't feel like you're behind or that the unsettled feelings you have are not normal. They're completely normal. Another thing that a lot of students don't realize that your time here is spent in 3 different ways. About 1/3 of your credits are going to be in the major that you choose. About 1/3 are going to be in the general ed or liberal arts corner. And about 1/3 are of your choosing. And that's where a lot of people will piece together minors, double majors, certificates, and there can be some pressure to choose those things. And those can be really helpful, they can be interesting and fun. You should choose them carefully, not just for the name that you think will sound cool, but that you really like the content courses that you'll be taking. Excuse me. Because the other thing that you can do with that 1/3 is to take classes of your choosing across many different disciplines. So, you know, there might not be a specific certificate or minor that you like, but if you're interested in adolescence, you might be able to find classes across several majors that you could take. Now, you might have to draw that together when you're doing your application essay for graduate school or a cover letter for a job to highlight those experiences, since they may not show up exactly as a minor or a certificate. But you should feel that you've got that volition, that way to create and craft the time that you are here. I'm not going to reiterate the things that are on the flyer for psychology. They are all here in our website, but I will highlight a couple important points. First off, your faculty are a resource to you. They all have had college experiences and graduate school experiences, and faculty love nothing more than being asked about them. So office hours can also be a way that you talk to your faculty about where did they go to school, how did they make the decision to be the kind of the professor that they are, or if they had other jobs before becoming a professor. And that's a resource that you can use. One of the fundamental differences between psychology and some of the other helping professions is that psychology is primarily the scientific study of human thought and behavior. And that's the base underpinning of all of our classes. Now, that knowledge is going to be very helpful for you in many aspects if you go on to a helping profession. But psychology is a big discipline, and I'd say 2/3 of it has little to do with sort of the stereotypical helping profession that you may think of. And so one of the ways that you can help differentiate that for yourself is look through the course requirements for these majors and say, what classes sound cool to me, and which major seems to encapsulate my interests best. And so sometimes we'll have people come to the psych major and be disappointed that it's maybe not more therapy-based, but then they realize that understanding the science of human thought and behavior is going to be really helpful for them if they go on to a master's in psychology or to family services or social work. And so many people will choose from those majors to maybe have a minor in psych or a double major in psych. We meaning the world, employ psych majors at every level. When you're an accounting major, it's pretty easy at Thanksgiving dinner when people say, what are you going to do? You're going to say, I'm going to be an accountant. It's harder for psychology majors because there is so much you can do. We have students who go on to a bachelor's and then go on to law school, go on to, we have former students who are now attorneys, even judges. We have students that are physicians. We have students that are journalists. We have students that are managers. There are so many things you can do at each level. So at the bachelor's level, you can really take that understanding of human thought and behavior and apply it to so many different areas. Now, if you really do want to make sure you stay squarely in that helping profession, you won't be able to do therapy all on your own. In some settings, as a bachelor's holding psychology major, you can do some types of group therapy under supervision. But for the most part, if you're going to want to be a therapist or a counselor, you will need to go on. Master's in social work, master's in mental health counseling, both those degrees will get you to what most people think of when they think of being a counselor or therapist. Getting a PhD in clinical psychology is not necessary for what most people want to do in terms of being a counselor or therapist. And we're happy to talk to you about that at the table when you come by. Quickly, I just wanted to let you know that the people that we do have at our table, we have Christine Bennett. She got her master's degree in social psychology here in our program, and she's now an adjunct instructor. And that's a profession that you can do with a master's in a discipline, is become a community college or university adjunct instructor. We have Mackenzie Dallenbach. She's a senior, double major, psychology, social work with a conflict resolution certificate, and she's applying for graduate programs right now, so she can talk to you about those experiences. We have Melanie Sullivan. She got her BA in psychology from our program, and she is in a minor in family services. And she is now and an IO certificate. The list keeps just growing. She is a service plan specialist. I don't know what that is, but I'm sure it's really cool, with exceptional persons, and she can talk to us about that. She's been with them for 7 years. And then we have Dr. Scott Hines. He got his BA in psychology with minors in chemistry and biology here at UNI, and now he's a general and trauma surgeon with Mercy One. So you can see, like, boom, you can do so many different things. It's about finding your interest, like what Jenny said, finding your passion, and really tooling up for the thing that you end up